everyone. Happy Thursday. Sorry I am not there today. I'm at home with my family. Today, though, is another day of research in the LC, so I hope you guys are ready to get to work. There's two things you're going to tackle today. Number one is obviously watching this lesson overview video, which you're already doing, which is great. Please make sure that you're listening to this entire thing so you know what I expect to do well on the research notes. After the video is up, you're going to spend the rest of the time researching. My goal for you today, before I see you tomorrow, is that you're done with the entire political rights section. So that includes strand A, B, and C. So it's everything about the political system, including the electoral process, political participation and pluralism, and then functioning of government. Class is again in the LC tomorrow, and your research notes, just as a reminder, are due at the start of class next Wednesday, so less than a week away. Okay, so for today, you are continuing your research. At this point, you should be done with this section. This is just my blank document. And you should be moving on to, like I said, the political rights section. You should have worked on this yesterday. As you're tackling your research, what you're working on is pulling out the strengths and weaknesses of that given strand, right? So we're going to do one as an example here live on this video. I picked Haiti as my country just because I have been there and I think it's interesting, and it's not one of your topic options that I know of. No one is doing it. So first things first. A is strand A right here, electoral process, which is all about how people gain sovereignty in that system, how people get power, right? Either through an election or otherwise. So first things first, you're going to jot down the actual values for each of the sort of substrands under the electoral process. So A, which was the current head of government or other chief national authority elected through free and fair elections. How do they get power, right? That is 2 out of 4. Then A2 is 0 out of 4. And then A3 is again 2 out of 4, right? After that, you have this entire section, A1, A2, and A3, to pull information from to fill in the strengths and weaknesses, right? So as you're filling this in, let's read together under how did they get their power under the strand A1. So it says, in Haiti's semi-presidential system, the president is directly elected for a 5-year term. The prime minister is appointed by the president and confirmed by parliament. So that structure alone is a strength of their democracy, right? So I would put it here. Haiti's semi-presidential system, which means that it is part president and part prime minister, is elected directly by the people. That is what that means. The president serves a 5-year term, and the prime minister is appointed by the president and confirmed by parliament. Parliament is sort of like Congress, if you're wondering, just a different sort of version of it around the world. So that's a strength, okay? Then it says their current president, if you're wondering, his name is Jovenel Moïse, is the Haitian Tetkal Party, PHTK. The hand-picked successor, Michel Martelly, won the 2015 presidential election, but the contest was nullified due to extensive fraud. Moise went on to win a repeat election in 2016, taking 55.6% of the vote. He was inaugurated in early 2017, yada, yada, yada. Now, this first portion here, it says there was extensive fraud. Is that a strength or a weakness? It's a weakness. So I would say in the 2015 presidential election, there was widespread fraud. And the president went on to fill the position anyway, it sounds like, right? People said, it says civil society groups, so like small interest groups, claim that the fraud in the vote tally was inconsistent, voter registration list, voter disenfranchisement, and low voter turnout. This would be a great list to copy and paste because it gives some really good specifics. So I'm going to copy and paste this here. Fraud included. Oops. Paste. vote tally, yada, yada, yada. So your notes should be complete thoughts, yes, separate complete thoughts for sure, and they should be a combination of copy and pasting and rewording it to make sense for yourself. So I hope this helps you make sense of what I expect in each of those boxes. Again, you need 2 specific strengths and 2 specific weaknesses. So as I went on to work on this section, I could also pull from all this, A2, and all this. Now, special note, it says here score change. If you have any score changes, copy and paste them. At the bottom of your notes, it says score changes. You will want to keep track of what scores here because these are some of those big things that are really important. So it says the score declined from 1 to 0 because no new parliament was elected or installed during the year, even though the mandates of lower house members and most senators expired in January. So it sounds like there hasn't been a peaceful transition of power, which is why this is a 0 out of 4. Now, again, would that be a strength or a weakness? That would be a weakness for strand A, and so I may want to add that here. You can also keep adding to these sections and keep making more sections. Let's say you have like a ton of strengths and not a lot of weaknesses. You can click insert row below to actually add more space to write notes, or you can just use a bulleted list and just keep going. Whatever works for you. The more detail and research, as you know, the more successful you will be in the long term. So good luck today. You're going to use all the time you have. I know it's a shortened day. And email me if you have any questions. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.